Hello, this is Christian. I recently completed a phishing study which I ran at the University of Oxford for my master's project. First of all, thank you. Thank you for participating in this study and helping me out with, with my project. I recorded this video to show you what kind of attacks I presented in the study and how you could have avoided them. And hopefully at the end of this video, although I might make some mistakes because I'm trying to record it in one take, hopefully you will be able to prevent other phishing attacks that you might be subjected to after watching this video. So the first thing that I want to say is you can avoid most of the phishing attacks by just inspecting the URL in your browser. In our study, if you were careful with the URL, you could have detected all the phishing attempts. So the first thing that I want to do then is to explain the parts of the URL and then just run through the study and show you the exact tricks that I used. So let's consider this link. The first thing is the HTTPS. So most people do know what HTTPS means. So the S comes from secure, and what I want to say is that HTTPS does not imply that you're on a legitimate website. So I'm just going to quickly explain what HTTPS does. So the internet is a network of computers which communicate. So basically you have one client. So for example, you want to visit a website, you send a request, and then it gets routed all over the world, but eventually it will reach another server or another computer. So what simple HTTP does, it just sends this request but as a plain text. So for example, if you're logging in into a web page, I can potentially see that you're sending your password through that channel. So I can see your password, and then I basically know what your password is, and I can log in as you and steal your identity. What HTTPS does is it encrypts the channel. So as an outsider, when I look at your communication with that other computer, what I see is just random character, or what seems to be random characters. So in this way, if you use HTTPS, I cannot eavesdrop on your connection. But that's it. Let's imagine you are on a website which has HTTPS, so it has an encrypted communication, but you're talking with a victim, with an attacker. Okay, this does not prevent phishing. If you're talking with an attacker, it prevents me on eavesdropping on that or on your communication, but you're still talking with the attacker, so you will be the victim of a phishing attack. Okay, so this is the HTTPS part. Although it's good, and you should you should try to enter passwords only on HTTPS. The reality is that not all the websites have HTTPS, and that HTTPS does not necessarily imply that you're on a legitimate website. Okay, so the second thing is the top level domain. So we are here on a link that ends with .uk. So this means that we are on a web page that is from the UK, most likely. Also, you could have top level domains like .com. So for example, if you go on facebook.com, you have the top level domain .com, or you could have .net, .edu, .ro for Romania, .de for Germany, and so on. Also in this specific link, we have a second level domain, okay, which is the AC, which comes from academia, and most UK universities will have this. So we'll have the ac.uk ending. But then we have the Oxford domain, which is the most important part for phishing. Basically, we have OXAC UK, so now you know that you're Oxford domain, okay? And then we have all the subdomains of Oxford, which is CS for computer science, and then MSc Proj for my project. So what the important part from all this is you detecting that you're on the right URL, and this is the most important part. Okay, so you could have, as an example, you could have facebook.ox.ac.uk. Does this mean you're in a Facebook domain? No. This means you're in a Facebook subdomain of the University of Oxford. At the same time, let's say you have a link ox.o.ac.uk. Does this mean you're on the Oxford domain? No, this just means you're on whatever domain is o.ac.uk. So these were the tricks that we basically played in our study, and in general, you should know what the URL is expected to be if you log into Facebook, let's say, and just check that you're on the right page. So we have also what comes after. You see, it's in a sort of grayish text in Chrome. What comes after is not that important for phishing. So as long as you know that you're on the right domain, okay, these would be different pages, or they will have different variables and whatever the website uses. But so as long as you know you're on the correct domain, it is that domain's problem if their website is secure. You could get phished, just by them having a vulnerability that attackers use. But in general, you would just want to be on the right URL here. So let's just run our study. Okay, just gonna say, oh man, sorry about this, I didn't complete. I hope you didn't complete this as I do now. Okay, I'll just do some random. So we're gonna go to the study. Let's run the study. So the first page, okay? If you look here, it's facebook.com, but you have triple O's. So we're definitely not on the right link. Although it looks the same, because attackers can do this, you're not on the right domain. And here we have HTTP only. But again, this does not necessarily imply phishing. Okay, so I'm just gonna say no. This is not a correct page. Then I'm on the facebook.com domain. So although this is, let's say, HTTP only, and an outsider from your connection could probably see your password, which you cannot do on Facebook nowadays. But this does not imply phishing. So I'm just gonna say no here as well, because we're on the correct domain. Okay. So now I'm on facebook.com. I also have HTTPS, which is good, but I have these characters, right? So this is basically just a redirect variable. Again, this doesn't matter. So as long as you're on the correct domain, which is facebook.com, you're good to go. So this is the correct page. We click yes. Now the next page is facebook.com. We have the HTTPS, everything looks good, except we again have triple O's, so this is not a correct domain. We will not enter our information here because it's just not a correct domain, so no. Then we have HTTPS and the correct domain and nothing after it. This is the clearly most of the time you will find this URL that you will log in onto Facebook, so this is a correct one. And now I have HTTPS, but now I have facebook.secure.com and whatever comes after, right? Again, the domain here is secure, it's not Facebook, so you're on the secure.com page, not on the Facebook page. So again, this is malicious. you might think that you're on Facebook because you usually are you know, you just look quickly on that, and maybe the secure domain sort of tells you that it might be secure, and you also have you know, the green lock, but you're not on the right site. You're on secure.com, so this is a phishing attempt. So where you would not enter this our credentials on this web page. So we change this context here, and you know, it says that you got an email, you received an email from Facebook, and this email that you know that a company had a security breach, and it is therefore essential for privacy to change your current password. So let's go here. Now again, visually, it could be pretty much anything. We can design a website that replicates the original Facebook. So we just look on at the URL. It doesn't mean what comes after. We have HTTPS, okay, but we are again on a triple O domain. Okay, so this is not a correct website. Now, this is an interesting part which I didn't explain before when talking about URLs, but basically, whenever you see IPs here, just don't enter any credentials. It's probably a phishing attack, and you shouldn't enter your credentials or any information at all on web pages that contain IP addresses. Okay, so I'm just going to click no. So here we have a double O, so we have facebook.com and we have HTTPS, everything seems correct, and then we have, you know, whatever comes after it. This is probably a correct one. So this was the correct page on this context of changing your password, so I'm just going to click yes. And now we have the last context, which presented pop-ups. So again, even with pop-ups, the good thing is you still can look at the URL and just know if it's a correct one. You don't have to analyze the page you're on, you just have to look at the URL. So you have SSL, you know, the HTTPS. You have facebook.wallstreetjournal.com. Again, this is not a Facebook domain. This is a subdomain. Okay, so you wouldn't enter your credentials here. Let's see this one. This one is a facebook.com domain. It seems legit. So, okay, it doesn't matter what you have here. You have HTTPS. So this is probably a correct pop-up. So I'm just going to click yes. Now you have the catvideooftheweek.com domain. So again, although you have cat video of the week and then you have Facebook login, what comes after doesn't really matter. You're not on the correct domain. This is HTTPS, HTTP only, but you're not on the correct domain. So you don't log in on Facebook through another page. You only log in on Facebook through facebook.com. That's the only way to go. Okay, so I'm just going to click no here. And the only thing that changes in the last image is that this is a HTTPS catvideooftheweek.com Facebook login. Again, you're not on the correct domain. This is not correct. Okay, so I hope that after watching this video, you know that before trying to see if a page is legitimate or not, you need to inspect the URL. You need to see on what domain you are. You need to make sure that they're not using IPs, or they're you know, they're not using a subdomain. For example, facebook.secure.com, as you saw earlier, and you know, although HTTP does not imply you're on a legitimate website, please, if you're on Facebook, just use only HTTPS, because they are using only the secure version of the protocol. So thank you again for participating in my study, and I hope you will never fall for phishing attacks in the future. Have a good day.